loved one or your woman or your man. And it's really healthy to vent if you can do it without getting on their damn nerves. It's good to get that out and have someone absorb some of that for you and you're bounce it off of them. But them to say, look, I know you feel this way, blah, blah, blah. But to kind of some of the calming stuff you get from your loved ones and friends and family. And he doesn't seem to have any of those people. So he's just cramming all these feelings and frustrations inside. And, and it sounds like it's getting worse and worse where he can't function, interacting with the public or, even coworkers.
And some time has passed. I mean, he was fired in 2013.
Yeah.
And these shootings take place in 2015.
Yeah.
So he held on to that anger for quite a while.
Yeah, it didn't happen right after. He held a grudge.
After the shootings of the three, investigators were able to track his cell phone because he fled the scene once he had shot these people on camera, uploaded this video onto Facebook, Twitter. He takes off. So
he basically walks up, unloads a clip on him, videos it, and leaves.
Pretty much.
Okay.
He took his Ford Mustang to the airport at Roanoke, Blacksburg. Then he rented a Chevy Sonic. Around 11:30 a.m., state police spot his rental car on I-66. Authorities tried to get Flanagan to pull over and surrender, but during this chase with him, he runs his car off the road. When they approach the vehicle, police find Flanagan with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. He was taken to a nearby hospital, but died around 1:30 p.m.
Yeah, and I kind of thought it was going to go down like that when I was, listening to this live that whole day. I remember being at work, that morning that went down, and I kind of figured he's going to take his own life. They typically do when they, I guess that was a borderline mass shooting. Was it 2 or more victims at once or whatever it is?
Right. This is a triple shooting.
Yeah, I know.
Double homicide, basically, because the executive director managed to survive, the woman that was being interviewed. But Allison Parker, the news anchor, as well as the cameraman, Adam Ward, both killed.
2 younger people.
So this is a murder-suicide.
Who wasn't that like his last day working there?
Well, no, he had just started not that long before.
But, yeah, see, that's the crazy thing is, there you go, is another point on Flanagan's mentality. This dude's only been working there some months. It's not like he's been years and years to have this, over and over, things happen over and over to frustrate him or get mad at this guy. This guy just showed up on the, scene, just started working there and already hates him.
He had filed a complaint against.
Well, right. He's probably like,
Flanagan.
damn, this dude's kind of damn, because Flanagan's not a small guy. He's a pretty big guy. He's, big, kind of husky. And so I could imagine if him.
He's a thick bitch.
He's thick with 2 C's, just like me.
Yeah.
But yes, he's a thick bitch. And I could see if he's being super damn mad, like out of control mad, that's going to bother people. And people would file a damn complaint on that.
Right.
Right. So it doesn't, and he's going to hold on to the grudge and be that pissed off about it still years later.
This is just a really, tragic story. And, it was something that was very different. You've had very few live, televised shootings.
Right.
But now, with the age of Facebook, anybody can commit any act of violence, it seems, and post it online for everyone to watch.
Before the internet, that would have been impossible.
Right.
For a regular, everyday person like me or you to live broadcast to the world at the drop of a hat. That would be impossible. Not unlikely, simply impossible to arrange or get done. And nowadays everybody has a phone, can pull it out, no matter what social media you open, and go live to the world.
Well, there have been a few other cases of televised violence, if you will.
Yeah,
self-harm.
There's some pretty big ones. You
were telling me about a podcast you would listen to in relation to R. Bud Dwyer, who was the 30th state treasurer of Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
That basically, pulled out a suicide note?
He, all that stuff had happened to him, and they were wanting him to either resign or, fight through to election. No, and we're not going to back you in the election. he basically pulled out a note and read it in front of reporters and shot himself. Right there in front of everybody.
So his suicide was broadcast pretty widely on television across the state.
Yeah, they called it, like, I guess they had delays and stuff, with the live TV. They kind of, but yeah, in the most local market there, they saw it basically happen right there.
He basically had gotten in trouble for some sort of almost like embezzlement, I guess.
Yeah, it was some type of corruption that I remember.
And, went through a trial and all that and kept maintaining his innocence.
Yeah.
But then decided to...
He was disgraced.
Write the suicide note, read it on television, shoot himself.
Yeah, and that song is about that. Hey man,
Filter?
I shot. Yeah. That's
Really?
totally about that. Yeah.
I did not know this.
Yeah, it is. Check that song out.
Things I just learned on this day.
Yeah. And then you told me about one.
Yeah, there's actually a pretty famous story, fairly famous, Christine Chubbuck. She was an American television news reporter. She worked in Florida, and she was the first person to commit suicide on live television.
Wow.
There's actually a film about her that I saw that came out a couple years ago, and I believe there's been a documentary about the case as well. She was a single woman, somewhat depressed. I mean, she had a really close relationship with her family, but she, was kind of single. She struggled with depression. She had some suicidal tendencies. Her mom told her, don't tell the people at the television station that you have depression. I don't want you to lose your job or get fired, because this was in the 70s.
Right.
There was still a lot of stigma around people having mental illness.
Very much so.
She didn't really have any kind of romantic partner. I guess friends said she felt really lonely because she, didn't have a partner. But
Right.
she also kind of had some almost like brusque sort of behavior when people would try to be nice to her.
Right.
Kind of some conflicting feelings there, I suppose. And she had a real problem with the sensational. I mean, if you work in news media, there's a headline you always hear, oh, well, if it bleeds, it leads.
Right.
Because people want sensational stories. We want to hear about the blood, the guts. It's just human nature.
They do. And
You're listening to a true crime podcast because you want to hear about the blood and the guts, right?
Yeah, and I think the biggest reason, you hear a lot of different reasons people give for listening, but a lot of it boils down to we just don't understand how someone can do that. See, I think a lot of people might think that true crime fans are like twisted or messed up in the head, but I think for the most part, we're just regular people who maybe critical thinker, free thinkers, if you will, who just want an answer, don't want someone to say this is what that person was thinking. You kind of figure out for yourself what drove or motivated those people to do the things that people do to each other.
Speak for yourself, normie.
Oh my God.
Just kidding. So this news reporter, she just felt like everything was violent, gruesome, this horrific stuff. Why are we constantly bombarding our viewers with this terrible news?
All right, so she's kind of being made sad by the stuff she reads.
Yeah, so
stuff.
she was basically like, hey, you guys have this policy of bringing the latest in blood and guts, and here you are in living color, some blood and guts for you. Basically pulls out a gun, shoots herself on this live broadcast.
Wow.
Yeah, and so this was like, whoa, nothing like this had ever happened before. People were just like blindsided.
And what was her name?
Christine Chubbuck.
I wonder if you can find that video.
Yeah, I think you can.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's available. I believe you can probably find it on the internet.
Is it weird? Is it sick that I would watch that?
No.
Okay. Do you think the listeners are probably with me? They want to watch it too?
The film I had mentioned, I kind of learned this story by watching a film. It came out in 2016. It was a big Sundance Film Festival, winner.
Really? That recently?
It was called Christine.
Okay.
And it has Michael C. Hall from Dexter.
Okay.
If you're a Dexter fan.
Yeah.
He's like the co-star. But it was really good. And then there's the documentary Kate Plays Christine, which is like where the actress was kind of preparing for her part.
Okay.
So it's more of like the documentary.
I might have to check that out.
And then also, if you remember the 1976 film Network, that had Faye Dunaway, William Holden, Robert Duvall,
Oh, yeah.
Ned Beatty. It was like an all-star kind of ensemble cast. It was about a newscaster that's murdered on air.
All right. Okay, so there you go. It's they didn't wait till Facebook was here to kill themselves on air, because all those stories happened back in the day.
Yeah, there have been a couple. I mean, that was in the 70s. We had the Bud Dwyer suicide. That was in 87. Daniel V. Jones was another man who died by suicide on live television. And that was in 1998.
But
so you've had a few here and there, but it's not like a very common thing.
And they also had access to the broadcast news. Be it I can call a press conference and get the cameras here, or as in the congressman's case, or I'll actually work on the news. I know when we're going to be on live. But now the difference is we're
Anyone
all
can do
live
it
broadcast
because
news.
we can broadcast anything we want.
I could do it right now
media.
on our podcast and Facebook Live it.
Instagram,
Surprise
stories,
you by killing
Snapchat.
myself. Still be I bet get a lot of downloads. Maybe I'll be more famous after I'm dead.
Don't say that. It's very morbid.
Oh. Well, okay.
Well, if we go walking again, you might run into that crazy guy who's like, hey, the world's going to end and you're going to be judged, and then he maybe will just take care of you. Because I thought he was going to today.
I'll be like, dude, just hang a right, head down there, get you a frothy cold craft beer, sit there and study the different parts of it, and you're going to feel better afterwards. Chill the fuck out, dude. Well,
this has been the story of Vester Flanagan.
It was a sad story. I remember how sad I felt when I heard it. Just the whole thing.
Thanks for listening to Mountain Murders.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Again, if you want to join Patreon, we'll get Dylan to sing his Steep song for you.
Yeah, we've got
20
that.
patrons.
Got that new $1 tier.
Yeah, you can sign up for as low as $1.
Just
Support
$1.
the podcast.
You get a shout out, and we will acknowledge you supporting the podcast directly, which is awesome. Even as low as just $1 helps, guys. Every dollar helps. And then obviously you can go on up to the $3 tier and get access to lots and lots of content. Extra content.
True. So thanks. You've been listening to Mountain Murders, and we'll be back soon.